Hey, I'm Ton Vin, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. When it comes to fine dining in Seattle, Canlis has been at the top of the list for decades. Diners and celebrities from all over the world flock to the renowned restaurant for its attention to detail service, gorgeous mid-century design, stunning views, and cuisine that is emblematic of the Pacific Northwest. But since Canlis first hit the scene in the 50s, things have changed. Big time. My colleague, Bethany Jean Clement, wrote a scathing review of Canlis for the Seattle Times in early November. And we've gotten thousands of emails about it. She joins me today to talk about that talker of a review. And then we'll tell you about the places we think highlight Seattle better on the plate. Ready? Fasten your seatbelt. Let's go! Hey, Seattle Eaters! My colleague, Bethany Jean Clement, is in the house. Hey, Bethany.
Hey, Ton. I'm so happy to be here. But before we get started, I think there's a little elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
So I heard you might have said that our dear friend and colleague, Jackie Variano, was your favorite co-host on the pod.
I need to be more diplomatic about these things. You're both my favorite co-hosts and the best reporters in the world.
Thank you.
Well, let's get to the real elephant, your Canlis review. You wrote a review for the Seattle Times saying Canlis is no longer what it used to be. Ouch. And you no longer recommend it. Double ouch. It is not because you don't like that they have piano covers of Macklemore, right?
No, it's definitely not about the piano. I love the live piano music at Canlis. It's classic. It's wonderful. It's some other stuff that's going on there.
Let's start on a positive note. What did you like about Canlis?
There's still so much to love about Canlis. What they're doing right now is revisiting some of the classic steakhouse menu from now 5 chefs ago.
The dishes you like are only found on the lounge menu. What were some of those dishes?
They're making a patty melt. This patty melt is better than any hamburger in the city right now. You got to go try it, Ton. It's made with beautiful aged beef, of course, because it's Canlis. And it's just exceptionally well done. The bread is so golden, buttery, toasty, made in-house, of course.
Oh, wow. See, when I think of patty melt, I think of diners. I love this spin. It's so Canlis.
They're also doing a steak tartare that is quite classic, coated in just a snow shower of Parmesan. They're making a caramel sundae that is just fantastic. This isn't rocket science. It's Canlis's old, tried and true recipes. And the kitchen seems to be carrying them out really, really beautifully. I have treasured memories from there over the years, including my dear departed great aunt's birthday. She treated my whole family. I was just a little girl, and it was dazzling. It was one of the things that made me love restaurants as much as I do.
Bethany, quick story. So you know that Canlis experience, right? Where you park your car and then they don't take any notes, but after you pay your bill, you walk out and voila, your car magically appear. And it's like a magic trick. People always go, how did they do that? Well, let me tell you a little story. I was sitting at the bar, because I love the Canlis bar, by the way, and I noticed the valet came in and looked around, and he made eye contact with me. And then he saw my shoes, and I overheard him later making a note like, the guy in the Camry, that's the one in the orange shoes, with the orange Air Jordans. Mm-hmm. And that's how he remembered me.
Your sneakers are always outstanding. Let that be known.
Yeah, but I think it's sometimes because they're so bright and colorful. It's funny because he looked at me and he could say, well, the Asian guy was the one who had the Camry, but he went the bright orange Air Nike, because I heard him made notes of this.
The service remains outstanding. They remember you. They remember you and give you your coat. And sometimes they have held your coat up by the fire in the enormous stone fireplace to warm it on a chilly night before they drape it over your shoulders.
But obviously, not everything went well at Canlis for you.
Where things went wrong for me, Ton, was with the $180 per person prefix menu in the dining room. I'm completely okay with that price point for a special occasion, but some people are really splurging, and it really has to be worth it. From the very first thing that landed on my table on my first visit, I was colossally disappointed.
Yeah. Can you take me through this tasting menu? Some of the highlights, or should I say lowlights?
So the very first thing that hit the table was just a nice little snack of fancy waffle-cut potato chips. And who doesn't love a waffle-cut potato chip? And if it's made at Canlis, it should be just an absolute joy to eat.
I feel a butt coming on.
But they were oily and heavy, and they tasted stale. Like the oil that they were fried in maybe wasn't particularly fresh, and that the chips had been sitting around. We left most of them in their lovely little bowl on the table. We didn't even eat all of them, which, you know, potato chips.
Exactly. Who doesn't love chips? Tell me about some of the other dishes you had. What wasn't working for you?
So one dish that I had was raw albacore tuna, which was in a pool of corn puree that was warm and was warming up the nice, cool slices of raw tuna, which was unsettling, to say the least. And then it had chive oil, corn foam. The sweetness of the corn clashed with the fish. The consistencies were all kind of slippery. It was just odd stuff all put together. And then there were also errors in cooking that you would not expect from an establishment at this level, including a steak that my companion had on one visit that I tried was incredibly tough. So tough that it was hard to cut through with a steak knife. And we witnessed a person at the next table sawing away at their steak, which, as you know, Ton, is not what you expect from Canlis.
We got like over 1,000 messages about this review. What is it about Canlis that gets people so worked up or vocal about this?
Canlis is, without a doubt, Seattle's most famous restaurant. It has been around since 1950. It is very high-end. It has set a standard in the city for decades for really delicious and really enjoyable fine dining. And a lot of people feel really strong loyalty to it. The response was not surprising to me. There were a lot of people really wanting to defend the restaurant and the restaurant industry, which I completely understand. It's hard out there for restaurants. I do not write a negative review lightly. In more than a decade of writing about restaurants in Seattle, I can count the negative reviews on two hands. I do love restaurants. I love our restaurant industry, and I am here to support chefs and independent restaurants that are doing beautiful work. However, I also have a responsibility to the diners.
And people turn to the Seattle Times or a critic for a sense of, hey, is it worth it? Is it worth to spend $573 at Canlis? Do you see a way for Canlis to recover from this? What do they have to do?
Absolutely. I think simplifying the dishes, which, interestingly, I've heard from someone who's been back since the review ran, and it sounds like there are fewer elements on each plate and that they are maybe already making some changes. I had wondered if with the new chef, they might think about returning to the classic steakhouse menu, like the one that they're serving in the lounge right now. I am curious just to see how it unfolds and what kind of choices they make. But Canlis has been amazing in the past, and I know it will be again. They do seem to be totally nailing it with the old school classic lounge menu. They're carrying out those tried and true Canlis dishes, and they are delicious. I would recommend the lounge in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best kept secrets, because I think with Canlis, it's hard to get a reservation, but it's open seating at the bar and the lounge area. So Bethany, Canlis wasn't perfect. So let's talk about places that are working, the elevated dining places that show what the Pacific Northwest on the plate is like.
I love that idea. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first, and you do one and I do one. How about that?
Super.
Well, since we just talked about Canlis, what comes to mind immediately is the former Canlis chef, Brady Williams, who opened Tomo in White Center. Bethany, I think Brady Williams does a lot of dishes that's emblematic of what the Pacific Northwest food is all about. Tomo started as fine dining. It was actually close to DNA to Canlis, right? Tasting menu, stellar dishes, I thought. He composed elegant, farm-to-table small plates with seafood and meat. He does Asian and Eurofusion and uses Northwest ingredients. It's an ambitious menu, and I think he pulls it off. But things have changed over the years. He pivoted to a more homage to Americana dishes like fried chicken and White Castle's themed burgers.
He's still incorporating a lot of Japanese elements from his own background, and that also befits the sort of Pacific Northwest, Pacific Rim feeling of that high-end dining in Seattle can have. His Caesar is incredible. It's really hard to reimagine a Caesar and not kind of mess it up because it's a great salad, right? But he's got little gem lettuce with endive to sort of give it a little pepperiness. He's not using anchovy in the dressing. It's really citrusy, lemony, delicious, and he's using bonito for that kind of umami flavor that the anchovy would bring. Pecorino instead of Parmesan. It's a little thing, but it's tangier. Just gives it a little more there.
Yeah, it's hard to improve on a Caesar, but Brady did it. Tell me about your pick, about who puts Pacific Northwest on the plate.
I was so happy to get to go up to Orcas Island to go to Jay Blackington's restaurant there, Houlme.
Yeah.
Houlme represents the Pacific Northwest in a way that is like a jewel. It is on one of the San Juan Islands. It's so close to those waters. It's so close to the beautiful farmland. Jay Blackington is a remarkable chef and a super interesting guy. Self-taught. He's an enrolled member of the Samish tribe. Used to be vegan, which is incredible considering the care that he puts into his entire menu, including meats. And he has been nominated for a James Beard Award 7 times now. Has yet to win.
Susan Lucci at the Food World. You keep losing, but you're in the discussion every year, in and out.
He's just doing his thing.
There you go. Well, I love Houlme. Tell me what you like about it up there.
The restaurant is small but elegant, comfortable, but feels like a special occasion. The food is just remarkable. He uses incredibly local, sometimes from the waters, yards away, incredibly local, incredibly fresh, incredibly seasonal ingredients. He also makes amazing pizza, and that's something that the Islanders love about that place.
Yeah. I think he makes one of the best pizza in the area.
It's really, really good. You can just go there and get a pizza, or you can go there and have a fabulous multi-course dinner.
I think East Sound is a food destination. With a handful of fun bars and restaurants, people actually ferry to the East Sound just to dine there. It's a dining destination. For you to sing out that restaurant along this restaurant row says something, because it is a remarkable restaurant and it's a remarkable pizza. I love that pizza. Bethany, for my second pick, I'm going to take us back to Seattle to La Marea in Ballard.
Ooh, inside Fair Isle Brewing.
Yeah, and they essentially sublease a space inside the brewery to keep costs down. The ambiance screams pretzel and hot dog, but their food is more elevated. It aligns more in execution with what's served at fancier sit-down restaurants. Its chef, Bo Tarantine, has worked with 2 Michelin star restaurants in California. He does seafood that's inspired by the coastal Mexican states. He does a lot of seafood tostada, about $20 each. It's like Northwest seafood from a different perspective. And I love this place. I think it's one of the best restaurants and the best meals I've had this year. And I love the fact that it's just inside a brewery. It has this homey, unpretentious setting. Have you been, Bethany?
I have.
And your verdict? Dun, 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 dun.
It's fantastic. Their ahi tostada is incredible. They're marinating that ahi in shiokoji and white soy. So again, it's this like his Michelin star background is totally coming through, even though it's just a tostada. Topping that with morita chili aioli and roasted peanuts, salsa, matcha. And then furikake for like a little like Japanese like umami on it. The bite is crunchy on the bottom. The fish is silky. The flavor is almost overwhelmingly wonderful. It's absolutely worth it. I actually got there half an hour before they opened just because I'm that person. I want to make sure I'm getting the amazing tuna tostada. And it worked.
Yes.
Pick up a beer, too. It goes great with some of Fair Isle's, like a Pilsner or a lager. Mwah.
Yeah. Their beer has improved a lot, I think. They do also really good saison. And I'm a believer. I hang out there all the time. I used to be just a Holy Mountain Cloudburst kind of guy. But Fair Isle Brewing is on my list these days.
Nice.
Back to you, Bethany. What do you have?
I wanted to talk about Ramie on Capitol Hill. So this is a high-end Vietnamese restaurant from a pair of siblings who started out over on Bainbridge Island. The space is high-ceilinged. It's beautiful. It's contemporary. It's very spare. Seattle, of course, is famous for its Vietnamese restaurants, and we have so many super delicious ones. Ramie is taking that part of Seattle and Pacific Northwest dining and really celebrating that culture and making super delicious food in doing so. One of the things that I love about it is the happy hour. The entrees on the regular menu are in the $30 range. At the happy hour, it's $4 to $12. It's a total delight to just try a bunch of different things, have a nice cocktail.
And what's amazing there about the happy hour is it doesn't seem to ever end. I feel like you get at 5 o'clock, it's there. If you go by 7, it's still happy hour. I think Jin and Tai, who runs this restaurant, does a stellar job. Because Bethany, we've been through this. We go to a lot of Vietnamese restaurants, places, and it's usually considered more comfort food, not high end. And that's what I love about them. Because they look at it from another angle. It's like, why can't Vietnamese food be high-end?
And their signature dish is their own Ramie take on a French laundry classic, which is a duck egg custard served in a hollowed-out duck egg shell. And it is just so rich and wonderful. You've had this, Tom.
Yes. And I think that's a good example of how they look at things. That egg dish is a good example of how you do Asian fusion and contemporary takes on the classics. I think it's just a lovely restaurant. It's one of my favorites, new restaurants. I still hit it to this day, and I usually don't repeat a lot of restaurants.
It's super neat to have it as a high-end Vietnamese option in a city that has so much delicious banh mi and pho, but then there's Ramie.
Bethany, we should start holding our food team meetings at bars and restaurants. In the name of research, of course. We have a quorum right here. What say you?
That sounds perfect. I can't think why we haven't been doing that all along.
Bethany, thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's it for today. We have a list of all the restaurants we talked about in the description of this episode. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. The show is a production of the Seattle Times and KUOW, part of the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsrooms and the specialized beats that make this sort of storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at KUOW.org/eats and SeattleTimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Brandy Fullwood and edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Tom Ben. See you next week.